Good day to you, gentle person, and thank you for joining me as we look at, I guess we do in idle games now, which is, as you probably guessed from the title, an idle incremental game, which obviously we are quite fond of around here. So, I'm looking forward to doing this one. So this is quite a simple, sort of quick to play idle game. It's not one of these sort of really long ones, but I like it because there is a certain level of refinement. It kind of shows the basic things that you need in an idle incremental game to a certain degree. There's a fair bit missing. We are going to talk about in the critiques. This was made fairly quickly for a jam, as you can see, the mini jam 203, called Flow. So it's well done. It's elegantly done. It's simplified. It is stripped down because it is an idle game, but I think it is well worth having a look at and well worth giving it a play as well. If you're just here to play the game, link is in the description. We're going to have a look at the gameplay now, and may even just play the game all the way through. But yeah, it's fun. It's enjoyable. It's cute. And I think it is. We're going to have some interesting critiques about it after we show off the gameplay. But let's start by jumping into the game and having a look. So what we need to do is click triangles to eject them from the belt. So we have a production line belt. Various shapes come out of it. We don't want triangles. For some reason we lose money if a triangle gets through the belt. So our job is to watch for triangles and knock them off. And then we get certain upgrades at the top, and we can eventually upgrade it to the point where the triangles no longer lose us money, and that's kind of the goal of the game. It's to make enough money to upgrade that bit at the top. So let's click start. And here we go. So here is a triangle, and we don't want it, and sort of we're earning $1 each for these things. And I'm going to let a triangle go through. See, that counts as a triangle, even though it's another one. So we lose $10 there. We lose all of our money, unfortunately. The amount that the triangle loses is a huge amount. That doesn't count as a triangle because there's a bit missing, and there's a bit missing. So incomplete triangles are absolutely fine, but only complete triangles are a problem. Now we have 3 upgrades up at the top that we can choose. We can choose to make the production line go faster, but we don't want that just yet because we have to monitor it. That we only put money into later. We have the lose less button, which leads us to our goal. So the more we click that, the less the triangle costs us when it goes down. So for example, we're earning $1 for each of these. At the moment it's 10 times the loss for a triangle getting through, so we lose $10. And it's a tiny little triangle, you gotta watch out for those. And then there is the more profit button. So every time something gets through to the end, we make more money for it. Unfortunately, we also lose more money from the triangles if they go through, because they are a multiplier of what we would have earned, and that's obviously just a balance mechanism. So we can't just power through all of the triangles once we get there. But what I have noticed as a remarkable sort of way of accelerating things is to sink money into more profit as quickly as possible, because it helps us buy the other things quicker as well. So when we buy it, we bonk our head against it to upgrade it. Let's max out the more profit as quickly as we can, and that'll help us get the lose less a little bit quicker as well. At least that's my belief. I haven't actually tested this. We're doing it together. I have played this game on Firefox. Worked absolutely perfectly on Firefox. I'm now playing it on Chrome. It appears to be working absolutely perfectly on Chrome. Unfortunately, there's no make bigger button. They obviously didn't build that into the game, but I suppose they didn't really need to. It's not quite what the goal is here. This is just supposed to be a submission for a mini jam, so there is a lot of refinements missing. Let's max out the things as much as possible. Alright, so we've got up to there, so let's sink some money into the lose less. As you can see, it tells you down at the bottom exactly how far we've gotten. We've got it down to 8 times the profit amount that we lose when a triangle does get through, unfortunately. is a little bit slow. We can sync somebody to making it going a bit faster so the stuff comes out. And I would suggest maybe doing that just once you're comfortable with spotting the triangles and knocking them off. You do lose money if you click a not triangle off. So yeah, you got to be a little slow at first, a little bit more careful. But once you get the hang of it, you can actually speed it up fairly quickly. Just make sure you have enough time to click on the buttons before the thing comes through. So I wouldn't suggest sinking too much money into the go faster too early, just because you want to speed it up so you're comfortable playing, so you have the fun of anxiously knocking the triangles off as quickly as possible. But you don't want to make it kind of unwinnable for you, and the triangles do knock a lot of money off. I mean, they're balanced that way on purpose. I think we can buy some, lose less now once we knock the next triangle. Oh, there's a triangle. There's a triangle. And I gotta say, I mean, I suppose I can start giving some of the critiques while we're playing, while we're trying to see how far we can go. Yeah, let's start with the critiques. So, I mean, if you are here just to see the gameplay, then thank you for watching. I am going to continue to show gameplay, so if you don't mind listening to the critiques, then don't leave. But if you do mind, then thank you for watching. Link is in the description. Come play the game. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because that way, with your comments and things like that, and with your subscriptions, I get better at this. It helps build this channel up and make it a better channel, and learn some things about how to do this better and make more entertaining videos for you. So that's kind of your reward for doing those things, which I appreciate. I don't want you to think that you're doing it for nothing. It does actually make stuff better. Oh, there's quite a long string of triangles there. Yes, I mean that's it in a nutshell. So if you are heading out, thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. If, however, you're sticking around for the critiques, well, to start off with, of course, obviously there's no UI elements. There's no real tutorial per se. The game is very simple, so I suppose it doesn't really need one. But again, remember that browser games are a place where complete non-gamers might actually first be exposed to a game. And I think even when you don't think a tutorial is needed, the more kind of instruction on how to play, the better, because it gives them sort of an easier way into playing the game. And yeah, that is important for a lot of people, to kind of have a good starting experience, and then hopefully they will become more regular gamers, and we need more regular gamers. We want our gaming community to get as big as possible. So always consider improving your tutorial as an indie game developer. I would say think about the first couple of minutes of playing the game, make it as amazing an experience as possible before focusing too much on refining the rest of the game. Those first couple of minutes are really, really important, and a good tutorial is a good way to make those first minutes amazing. Oh, we're down to -1%. So -0.8 times, it's not 1%, it's multiplying times, so we're almost at 0. So yeah, so the UI doesn't have a tutorial, it doesn't have any of the volume controls or anything like that. In fact, there isn't really a UI, there's just a button at the beginning saying play the game. Oh, we're almost there. Max out that profit. Very pleased to have done it as fast as we have done it here. Oh, nearly let one through. We're almost there. I know I was doing my critiques, but I'm being distracted now because I'm very pleased to have done this without a single loss, and I'm wondering if there's going to be... There we go. 8 minutes, not too bad. I saw that somebody in the the comments did it in like 3 minutes or something like that, which is an amazing speed run. Yeah, and that's where we've gotten to. So I am going to stop playing there. I think it's all the gameplay I'm going to show. Well, actually, first of all, let's go through a little bit more of the critique. So I'm going to say, the sounds are great, the music is fun. I found the little clicks and cha-chings very, very satisfying. I really have no real comments for the sounds. I think they were quite perfect for the theme and the aura of this game. The art is very cute. I love the way we bump the buttons with our head. I love the little sort of flip of your very basically drawn hands to knock the pyramids off. I think the art again is the sort of hand-drawn art is absolutely perfect. I'm assuming there's no AI involved here. Well, I don't know if they've marked it as no AI. We'll have a look at that in a moment. Yeah, no, absolutely fantastic. And the gameplay is fun. Again, this is a game that is very, very stripped down because it is for a mini jam. It is a little sort of comment on idle games and things like that. So yeah, it's not complex. There's no depth. There's no storyline. There's no real, why are we making triangles? Why are triangles bad? What is going on? What are these shapes that we're making? Anything like that. It could be refined into a more expansive, extensive game. Obviously, it's not the developer's intentions, but as a sort of just general commentary on indie games, try and give your games some story. Try and give them a cause to marshal behind, something to say, because that really does pull players in. Sort of a basic funny game like this is nice for people to play for a little bit, but it's not really going to go anywhere. People are going to play and go, that was nice, and then move on to something else. I doubt they'll even remember the dev house name that much. I mean, I don't know, maybe they will. If you feel this game will make you remember Follow the Fun more, let me know in the comments, because I will pull back from that particular commentary. But I feel you need a storyline to make a game memorable, to make it very immersive to pull players in. You need more depth and more character and a cause that the players can marshal behind. So while fun little games are fun little projects to do to flex your muscles and brush up your skills and things like that, do some writing. Get some writing behind your game, get some storyline behind it. I don't think it adds that much extra effort, and it really does make a game more deeper and more memorable, more something that people will follow into its next iteration, its next evolution of the game, as it were, or even just evolution of the dev house if it moves to other games. Yeah. Anyway, that is all of the real commentary I have. Just a side comment, as I did notice that this is kind of comment on corporations and the production lines, but ironically this is actually quite a good corporation, I think, to a certain degree, because it is sinking money into the production line. A lot of companies sort of sink money into stakeholder pockets first, over and above shareholders, shareholder profits first, rather than back into the company too much. And the reason I'm thinking that is that it was the subject of a court case that I think solidified many of the issues we have in kind of Western financial structures these days, when it was Henry Ford who was sued by his shareholders because he had made remarkable profits in the 1930s, somewhere back then, 1920s maybe. He had made massive amounts of money. He wanted to sink that money into paying people more and improving the processes and things like that in his company, and he was sued by his shareholders, who said no, they wanted the profits. They wanted to roll out to them in dividends, and he wasn't allowed to do that, and they won. He was forced. The legal decision was made that the company's job was to make money for the shareholders, not to make a better company, in the way that sort of a more moral perspective might have. And I think that is a big problem. And obviously it's become a lot more complex now. Sort of corporate law and financial law is a lot more sophisticated. But as a pillar that it was built upon, I think that was a terrible thing. I think that speaks to a lot of the ills that the West, as it were, is facing these days, in kind of not just corporate psychology, but just sort of general psychology. This relentless pursuit of profit above all else, and only doing good things when one is legally forced to, and that's quite terrible, and it's very bad for a lot of companies. And the fact that the law actually supported that idea was quite insane. quite insane. I suppose it was strange times back in the 20s and 30s. Bad times. Anyway, that is all the commentary I'm going to have, and that is all the gameplay I'm going to show. So let us just run in, and now what we can do is speed the production line up. We're getting this thing blurring very, very fast, and then speed the profit up as fast as we can. And there's really no end here. This is just to see what happens if you get it to go faster and faster. What I actually did in my first playthrough was get it to the point where this number was so big it was actually going off the edge of the button. And I thought that was probably far enough. But it is fun. I like all the little red minus zeros of the triangles coming through. So we're not making profit on them, we're just not making a loss. And it gets a little bit noisy, a little bit chaotic. There we go, we're starting to go past the edges of the buttons, and that's good enough for me. I think you can get to the point where it's not a number and infinite and all of that kind of stuff. But I'm not going to get that far. I'm just going to say, come and play this game. It's a fun game. It is an interesting commentary on corporations and things like that, but not quite as bad as I think it intended to be. And I will watch out with much interest for more by Follow the Fun, but possibly just based on the general meta of this game rather than the actual gameplay itself. So yeah, don't forget to add storyline to your games, and don't forget to add quality of life menus and things like that, because and tutorials, because make your players happy. That's a good way to make popular games. Yeah, and thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.